Yo, 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 it's your boy Kid Shardy Gaming Nation in the building. Here going live to speak on a topic, right? All right, cool. So we with it. All right, so let's get started. So, oftentimes in these red pill spaces, and I listen in and I eavesdrop, especially in the white red pill spaces or the white male red pill spaces or the white manosphere spaces. I hear a lot of hypocrisy and logical hypocrisies and logical fallacies, right? What I mean when I say that, let me begin by saying this though. Oftentimes, black men, we get critiqued and our identity, and a lot of times your identity is wrapped up in the things you like to do, and who you are is the extension of what you're doing. Um, the things you engage in, the type of car that you like to drive, the type of women you, especially in the context of what we're speaking of, the type of woman that you like, right? All these things encompasses your identity. And oftentimes, what I notice about black men, right, with us, the things we like and the things that we engage in and the things that we like to do is often critique, right? Um, Now, don't get it twisted, don't get it confused. Oftentimes, there's the ratchet version of it, level of it, or there's levels to it, right? You have the ratchet version of it. The things that black men engage in, like the gangbanging, the freaknicks, the twerking, all the other stuff, right? That's the negative aspects of it. But you have the positive aspects of it, right? Black men like to go to right where you go to a freaknik, or you go to a session, or you go to a carnival, or you go to a mocha fest, or you go to some dance party, right? And you're just shaking up on big ass. Now that's what you call time and a place, right? You're not doing this. You're not engaging in this type of activity in a setting or an environment where the theme is to be respectable, or the theme is to be yeah, basically respectable. You're not doing this in public. When you talk about going to a carnival, when you talk about going to a party or club, that's a venue, that's a theme, and during that theme or that venue, you're doing certain things, but the things you're doing is for that venue. Now, the ratchet part of black folks is now you twerking on top of a car in public for children to see. It's okay if you're twerking at a carnival or a dance hall session or a party, because the theme of that is to party and to get ratchet. You don't take that ratchetivity outside of that context. But oftentimes, black men in particular, which is funny to me, is that the most critiqued, the most judged, the most attacked is the identity of a black male, right? They critique and attack us for what we wear with our clothes, and then turn around and then wear the same clothes, or is praised for wearing the same clothes that we wear. For example, if a brother has dreadlocks, he's wearing a New York gear attire, he's critiqued or being called he needs to grow up. He's wearing children's clothes. He's a little kid. But if a white boy is wearing New York gear or New York clothes, he's praised for that. He's respected as a New Yorker. If black men wear Jordan sneakers, he needs to tone down. He needs to what you call spend his limit, right? He shouldn't be too loud if he's wearing Jordan sneakers. But if an Italian is wearing loafers, or he's wearing Clarks, or there's a new sneaker called Travel Vox, if an Italian is dressing that way, even if the Italian is wearing the same Jordans, they're not going to tell that Italian white man that he should tone down with how he's dressing. But they say that to black men. Now, when it comes to the type of women we like, right? Black men in the diaspora, especially when it comes to Caribbean men, because if you look at Haitian women are thick. Jamaican women are thick, but especially Haitian women and Trinidadian women, right? We grew up seeing this. Black American men, especially if you're from the South, you grew up watching thick women, thick black women, right? So this is what you like. This is what your environment is showing you. And your environment can oftentimes influence your perception, or you can influence that environment. It's a two-way street, right? So oftentimes, that's what black men like. We like thick women, right? But how white men convoluted, and how even black men I see on YouTube um got bit by the programming because they wanted to join the white men in the manosphere space instead of creating their own space. This is why I big up the Anger Man, and I big up rest in power to Kevin Samuels and the brothers that created the Black Manosphere space for black men, because being in the white male space, we're two different people. We're men, but we're two different identities, two different cultures, two different ways of expressing ourselves, right? But oftentimes, when it comes back to black women, we like thick black women. That's what we like. But what's get blown out of proportion is what they'll do is that they'll pick, especially they do this with Jamaican men a lot, right? They'll pick the biggest, fattest, ugliest bitch, whether she's white, black, or yellow, or Asian, doesn't matter. And they'll say, this is what all black men date, or this is what black men date in general. When that's furthest from the truth. When you watch a lot of Jamaican men with thick women, they're not big, obese motherfuckers. That's not the truth. They're not obese, right? They're what you call healthy thick or curvaceous. Same thing with black American men, right? They're not dating these big belly, belly, six rolls on their back type of chicks. That's not what's happening. And a lot of times when the type of white women that Jamaican men get, it's not these big rolling ball white bitches. It be some big titty, heavy titty, Russian, Australian bitch type of bitches. Same thing with black American men. And I think what happened is that because black American men are influential, right? And a lot of times because I seen a video, and I don't know if I'm able to find it today. I seen a video where no scope. If you don't know what the fuck I'm saying, get the fuck out my chat, bitch nigga. Don't come into my chat if you don't know what I'm saying, no scope. I could tell your mother what I'm saying. She understands when I put this BBC in her mouth and bust in her face. Get out my chat. You walk up in my chat talking shit, I'm gonna cuss you out. No scope. I hope you get punched in your face. A big fist punches you in the nose and breaks your face. That's what I hope for you. Every troll that walks into somebody's live chat and you don't have something intellectual or respectful to say, you should get punched in the face in real life. This is what happens when masculinity is no longer there. Bum ass niggas like No Scope get to go into people's chat and talk shit. If he had said that in my face, we'd be fighting. You ain't gonna bring shit right now. You gonna sit in your basement and beat your meat. Invisible baby face, you gonna beat your meat too. I could tell your mother what I'm saying. Just like a white boy. I said fisticuffs, he wants to bring a gun. If there was no guns, you'd have to fight me fist to fist. And they still in the chat talking to me instead of just leaving. Thank you. I don't give a fuck if it's one view. Two dumb niggas need to leave my chat, or two dumb Neanderthal crackers, dog lovers need to leave my chat. Anyway, going back to what I'm saying. So this is what I'm saying about why I have an issue with black men partnering up with white dudes in these spaces. It's because of what I just saw in my chat. You don't know what I'm talking about, don't be here. You're going to get cussed out and blocked. As a matter of fact, let me block y'all so you can't speak again. Hold on. Ban. Delete. Ban. Straight up ban you. Simple as that, right? So oftentimes, black men we get critiqued for the type of women we like, and I think because I seen somewhere in Korea where they were interviewing the Korean women, and the Korean women were talking about, well, the standard of beauty. That was the context or the theme of what they're speaking about. And one of the Korean chicks said, and she was really skinny. She was like a stick, and she was like, even my size, the men here think I'm fat, but she was a stick, like a stick. And then they interviewed a chunkier, a more thicker Korean woman, but the men over there saying she's too fat. But that she wasn't even fat. She was like maybe like black men would look at her as slim, right? She would be like slim thick, according to black men. I hope I could find a clip, right? But oftentimes, black men, we get critique for the type of woman we like. And I think it's because black men were very influential, and everything we do, the world kind of copies. Because Jamaican men, you don't get it twisted, Jamaican men are very influential too, right? Um, there's dancehall reggae almost all over the world, from Japan to China to Korea to all Russia, Germany, all over the place, right? So because we as black men are very influential and we influence the world even with the type of women we like to date, it's like white men are trying to check black men low key by trying to convince us that the type of woman we date is out of shape or unhealthy or fat or too much. But they can't. They're afraid to say it to black women directly because of the backlash they're gonna get. So they try to convince black men that that's not the type of woman we should date, right? But a lot of white dudes will look at a thick white woman and say, that's the type of one he likes. Nobody fucks with him if he says that I like a thick black woman. Nobody's going to critique him. But black men get critiqued a lot of the times. All right. So I'm going to put these on the stage for y'all. All right? Listen, if you don't like what you're watching, don't say nothing in my chat. Go away. So let me add this to the stage. Add this chick here. So yes, I'm going to add you ladies to the stage, your Instagram. I'm going to put I'm not going to hide your account. I'm going to give you some publicity. All right. Her name is Kiss My Beauty 38, baby girl, right? So-called fashion model. Now, I don't know if she's a 304 or not. I don't know if she's in the DMV. I don't have no idea. But that's not the point. But she's not fat, but she's slim thick. Typically, this is what black men with a black man, the average brother would like to get with a date, like this chick right here. A white dude would like this type of chick right here, ironically, right? So that's on the stage. All right, so we're gonna make that part of the stage. All right. So let's go to this chick right here, Chanel, XO Chanel. All right. I don't know how old she is, but a lot of you white dudes would consider this chick fat. You'll tell black men or critique black men that this type of woman is too big. Meanwhile, you have the same white type of dudes trying to fuck a chick like this. All right. This is a chick, right? This is what we talking about right here. Now, she's thick. And she look like she going to the gym. So shout out to you for going to the gym, right? Now, she's going to the gym. Now, because I'm a personal trainer, if you look at her body structure, right? A skeletal structure, her frame, I would not recommend she get any skinnier than this because she's not going to look good. All right. I don't know how tall she is. She looked to maybe like what, 5'5", 5'6". I have no idea. But based on her frame, like her curve, this is her. This is the maximum weight she should. This is the weight she should be at. She loses any more weight, she's not going to look good, right? Because that's her frame. That's her frame. That's her skeletal structure, right? White dudes would tell black men that this is fat. Now, black men on average would typically date this. This is what you'll see black men with, right? Or something similar to this. I think I seen a photo of her going to the gym. Now I would date this. A lot of Jamaican men will go out with this, or Caribbean men will go with this. All right. There's a lot of Trinidadian men that will go with this. You feel me? Whoa, look upon the. No, we're not gonna do that. But boy, all right. Shout out to her for being a happy person. All right. Look at that back. Now a lot of white dudes will go with this, but they trying to cap and lie and tell black. Like what white dudes do, it's a slow key, soft way to tell black dudes, um, to critique black men and tell black dudes, uh, uh, it's a check. It's a low key, soft way to check black men on what we like. They're too afraid to say it directly, right? But as of late, they getting bold with it, right? Right. So she if she loses any more weight, she's not going to look good based on her structure. Like right here, it looks like she lost a little bit more weight than what she looked like, I guess here. And she's going to the gym, mind you. All right. So shout out to XO Chanel. Chanel. Shout out to you. Oh, she eats. Let's see what type of diet she's eating. So this is her what she eats. It's her diet. All right. And she's eating healthy. Uh, or trying to. All right. Some of you gonna say, "Well, man, you're a traditional dude." Yes, I'm a traditional dude, but I like women. At the end of the day, I don't hate hoes or 304s. Right? Let me put my face on the screen on here for future people. Right? Put my face on the screen. My thing is, whether you're a 304, you're a lady, you're a traditional chick, you're a trad wife, whatever whatever your position is in society as a woman, the thing is that you have to respect the men and the society you live in. If not for the men, you could not live free to be a 304. You could not live free to be a traditional woman. You couldn't even live free to be a feminist. That's the uh that's the craziest part about it. The reason why a lot of you women are able to be free to be a feminist and have your ideologies is because of the men that's in it. So it's stupid to me that you're going to now disrespect the men that provide you safety, structure, and even finances and guidance, whether that be in general or individual, right? Because a lot of you 304s, at the end of the day, after you finish your life, you're going to look for the same type of, you're going to look for the men or a certain type of man. You're not going to go back to the player and the niggas that was fucking you, smash and dash. So at least respect the men in general that you're benefiting from, right? Nobody's trying to stop a 304 from being a 304, right? What we're trying to do is not get every chick to be a 304. That's the thing, right? Every chick cannot be a 304, and every chick is not meant to be a traditional woman. Understand, right? So, but overall, all you women have to respect men. You have to. If America crumbles today, all that 304 shit, all this Instagram posting shit, that's over with. So respect the men that fight and die to protect your freedoms, your freedoms. At least respect them. Right? And to say that men haven't earned your respect, that's bullshit. The fact that you live in a safe society is never mind. All right, let's put her back on the stage. Put this woman back on the stage right here. Sydney Dean. Shout out to Sydney Dean. Now she got a bust. She would be a slim thick. All right. This would be a slim thick. I don't know if her boobs, but her titties is titty. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of you niggas is going, and I'm going too. My biology compels me. So let me break that down, right? A lot of guys in these spaces would say, especially with the pastor bros, they say that you men are being influenced by these women. Is it the women that influences them, or is it their biology that influences them? Right? Because if I want to smash a chick, that's because I want to smash a chick. If I want a traditional home, that's because I want a traditional home. If I can't find the women here to be a tradition start a traditional family with, why would I stay here and try to do that? Why not go to a traditional society and get that? Right? What's the basis of a traditional, or the context or the premise of a traditional home? Monogamous relationship, one man, one woman, starting a family unit, right? That's every man's biological imperative, or biological, but that's his biology speaking to him. Find a chick, mate, and reprocreate or reproduce. So it's not women influencing you. It's you as a man and your natural built-in biology influencing you to go have sex with the woman. Now, in today's society, in today's environment, because women have become hostile to the men, you have to be careful. You can't just get any chick pregnant, right? And rightfully so. You should not be out here being a breeding buck and having sex with women without condoms. Even there was no STDs at all. You should not just be getting 10 women pregnant. That's not good for society. It's not beneficial for society. This is why when you talk about promiscuity or polygamy or poly relationships, it's kind of bullshit. You see what I'm saying? Because now all these men are getting pregnant with or impregnating 15 different women, and this one chick is getting pregnant by 15 different dudes. That's a lot of kids. Who gonna watch them motherfuckers? But anyway, all right. So I'm not gonna lie. So when you red pill niggas up here keep saying to me or telling the world that you gonna have this dick discipline, you're not supposed to have dick discipline. If you want to talk about biology in that context, you're supposed to go breed. You're supposed to go have sex with a chick and get her pregnant. You're not supposed to have dick discipline. No, in the social, in the what do you call it? Socially, you're supposed to have dick discipline, because socially, right, the women in today's climate, in the context of today's climate, you got to have dick discipline though. But generally, when you call it in the context of biology, you're not supposed to, right? If in bare bones, stripped of ideology, stripped of social constructs, stripped of Christianity or religion, straight up nature, a man mates with a woman or the female gender of any species, that's a mammal. You have sex, you reproduce. So technically, neither one of you is supposed to have sexual discipline. Now, ironically enough, even the animals respect mating seasons, right? The cat don't mate all season. The cat's getting heat in Pacific seasons or seasons of the year amongst mammals, right? Or even I think reptiles do it too. I think even sharks and fish do it too. Only during certain seasons where they mate and they procreate, right? They don't do that all year round, right? Human beings are a bit different, right? But either way, biology, bare bones, no constructs. You're not supposed to have dick discipline as a male. But because as human beings, we try to tame and create discipline and structure around the chaos, right? Because a lot of times, everything in nature or that's natural is not always good. Nature's very ugly and chaotic, right? And a lot of times you need a human shepherd or a human being to tame that chaos, to create structure, law, and order and discipline, right? So this is why during this day and age, or from the Victorian age, the system of monogamy and traditional relationship was created. It was to bring about balanced law and order amongst chaos, right? Now, this chick right here, I think she's Indian. Now, what I noticed, they're pushing out a lot of you showing your ass. I don't know if she's a Latina or she's Indian, but they're pushing out a lot of the Punjab ladies too. They're giving the Punjab ladies shine too. But what I noticed is they're not putting like the ugly Punjabis or the ugly Indians or the or however you call them. They're putting on like the fine ones like this one. She's thick. She'll be slim thick. All right. I see a lot of Jamaican men with women like this. You feel me? A lot of Indian men will go for a woman like this. A lot of white dudes will go for a woman like this. This is why it's hypocritical when I hear white dudes on Al Gore's internet tweaking about what black men date. All right. She's a slim thick. All right. Ebony, however you say her name. Soul Fruit. Now, obviously, this is a 304. Boy, a lot of white dudes, you going. You are going. Stop playing with me. This is what black men, this is what a lot of white dudes critique black men for liking. But a lot of Asian dudes and a lot of white dudes would look at this as a fat bitch. They would call her fat. If this was a white chick, they would call her fat. Right? But a lot of black dudes like this. I think she this might be a Latino, maybe. Shout out to this chick right here. But this is the whole 304 though. Now, money, I don't hate hoes. I don't hate 304s. I just hate when y'all step out your place, right? If you know you're a 304, you know you don't qualify for a traditional nigga. All right? The best you can get from a traditional nigga is some dick when he horny. After that, that's that. See what I'm saying? Now, in today's environment, there are dudes willing to wipe.
If someone,
I think this chick right here is white. Oh no, this is a light skinned chick right here. But a lot of you white dudes who's gonna watch this, you are going. Stop playing with me. You are going. I'm going. Feel me?
if someone send you this, you have to do it.
We're not playing that. This land chick right here. A lot of you white dudes are going. What Coach Greg Adams called them, the gordita? Y'all are going. White men, you are going. Arnold Schwarzenegger got caught, and he the whitest of the white dudes. He got caught by something like this. Got her pregnant and shit, too. You know what I'm saying?
If someone,
Let me see this one. What's going on, AskT67? Respect my channel, respect my chat. See what I'm saying? And this we're talking about why what black men mean by liking thick women, right? Oh, so this is like a cooking with Kaya chick type of chick. Oh, she might have a boyfriend or something like that. Now, this is a slim thick right here. Slim thickums. Feel me? This is a 304 in disguise. Don't you ever misjudge it. She just know how to cook. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, apparently. Apparently she know how to cook. All right. She would be a slim thick. This is typically what black men are with. I see if you go to Brooklyn, Harlem, Queens, the Bronx, A lot of brothers are with chicks like this one. This is the average Keisha. Jamaican brothers, a lot of Jamaican brothers are with something like this. All right, similar to this too. Boy. Let me see this one. And she hit the gym. You know she hitting the gym, right? This chick, if she get any slimmer than this, if you look at her structure or frame of her body, she get any slimmer than this, she's not gonna look good. She can look anorexic, and she got to at least be like 150, 160 or something. I don't know her height. 135. All right. This chick definitely, like I said earlier, if she loses any more weight than this, she's not gonna look back. Like, look at her skeleton, right? Look at her cheekbones. She loses any more weight than this, she's not gonna look. So she's naturally built like that.
If someone send you this, you
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Let me refresh this page. A lot of white men, you are going for this too. This is slim thick. Same with that. Right. This is a whole demon right here. Whole demon. So, Monty, I'm just using these women to prove a point. I'm not telling you dudes to go after these chicks right here. All right, y'all fellas gotta be careful. If you're gonna date an Instagram chick, you gotta vet very carefully. Light-skinned chicks that look like this are typically crazy, so you got to be careful. Feel me? So, just letting y'all know. That's crazy. That club charging $50 for water. Whoa! Look at this. Huh?
class.
Look. Well, Lenai to be. That's the climb, baby. Just waiting to get more experience so I can start making $150,000 a year. You think when black men are driving these trucks, you think they're making 150, 150K a year that easy? We gotta bust our ass and grind to them 6 figures digits, baby. But look at her. She is thick. Slim thick. A lot of black. Look at her. Look at her back. Right? She can lose weight. Now, if she loses maybe about like 10 pounds, 20 more pounds, she'd be all right. She loses any more than 10 pounds, she's not gonna look good. So it's like she's naturally built like that, like this. All right. No, you gotta be careful. I looking her dead in her face. This bitch might be crazy. I have a cousin that has a face that looks just like that. That bitch is crazy. So y'all gotta be careful. She might be sweet, but she might be a killer when she not being sweet. Feel me? So y'all gotta be careful out here. All right. Hey, baby, you get into the trucking, you get into the bag, you gotta grind, baby. You don't just get $150,000 in your hands like that. But she out there getting to the paper. Feel me? I ain't mad at women getting to the paper. The disrespect of black men and men in general, especially black men, that shit gotta stop. Hold on. Let me refresh the page so I can get a new cycle. My Instagram just ass everywhere. Boy. Look at this Asian chick. I don't know about Asian women. Well, her tittying though. No, I'm not going. I'm not going. Asian women, like, y'all got cute faces, but y'all thighs, bro. That lower half, I don't know. But hold on. A lot of white dudes love. So this is the hypocrisy about white men, right? Now that you're seeing this Asian chick up here. Let me put my face back up on this. Put my face somewhere here. There are a lot of thick Asian women that look like this, and a lot of white dudes go to the Philippines, China, and Japan, and they'll get with a chick like this, but critique black men about what we date and try to low key check us on how we date and our dating habits. See, the argument with black men, our argument is not about black women's size. It's about black women's bad attitude and their lack of cooperation with black men and their inability to hold themselves accountable to black men. You see what I'm saying? That's the argument, right? The argument is black women. There are plenty of black men out here that are good and respectful and all that shit, but you're not holding yourself accountable to them. You're dating and picking the wrong type of niggas and then blaming all black men for that. That's the argument that black men are making. We're not making the argument about black women's size or their thickness. Nah, see, Ross, what people think can manifest itself, right? And a lot of times that manifestation of what people think can influence other people's perception, right? What people think about black men in the African diaspora as a whole has influenced other people's perception about black men. For example, an Asian chick who doesn't respect Asian men, doesn't follow the rules of Asian men, she'll come over here to black men because she believes that our standards are low, right? The reason why she believes that our standards are low is because black women and what they think about us, opinions of us, have been pushed into the media. And that media have influenced the world's perception about black men, right? So now this Asian chick who couldn't live up to the standards of Asian men, or a white woman that couldn't live up to the standards of white men, right? Now, when I say they couldn't live up to the standards, they don't cook, they don't clean, they're feminists, and they're disrespectful. Because they watch how black men are disrespected by their black women and how black women's opinions about us have become the world perception. They'll come over here to get into a relationship with a black man, not because they want to respect a black man's standards, but because they think it's easier to be in a relationship with us. On the premise of that, our standards may be low, so they could get away with the shit with us that they couldn't get away with their white or Asian dudes. You understand, Ross? So that's the problem with what people think. What people think has now, because of social media, been pushed out there into the atmosphere. And it's now ruling the perception of how people think about other people, right? And regardless of how, what I recognize, right? Regardless of how black men are respectable, regardless of how black men are intelligent, regardless of how black men have succeeded, the perception of black men is always going to be that we're so-called rapists, we're murderers, all of that kind of bullshit. It's always going to be a negative perception about us, regardless if you go into the environment and you see a respectable brother. So that's the problem with what people think. What people, it's not like in the 1950s or in the 1990s or the 80s where the only place you could push your opinion is on a Ricky Lake or a Phil Donahue. You could push your opinions on a TikTok, all right? So a lot of times now I have to do live streams to combat that influence and set the record straight, right? Because a lot of people believe that a lot of Caribbean men, when we date white women, we date like these big, husky, fat, bowling ball white bitches. And Ross, you know that's not true. You see a lot of Rasta niggas with heavy titty Australian or Russian chicks that don't look ugly. Same thing when he dated a curvaceous Jamaican woman or Caribbean black chick. They don't be looking ugly. But according to what white men will say it, they'll make the world believe that all we date is big, fat, ugly black bitches, when that's further from the truth. Yeah, you think that. You see what I'm saying? But you're one person in the scheme of things, right? Now, this chick right here, a lot of white men are going to go. A lot of white men are going to try to simp. This is the hypocrisy of white dudes in these spaces. a lot of white dudes, they'll be a simp for this Kit Kat bar right here. This Kit Kat bar right here, this vanilla cream Kit Kat bar right here, a lot of white men, they'll simp for this bitch. They'll be in her DMs. They'll be trying to spend money on her to get her to marry them. I hear how these white dudes talk in these spaces, but they'll tell black men that this is a fat chick. They'll shame us for dating her. And I think what white dudes are trying to do is a low-key way to get us to not date the type of woman that they want to date. All right. In other words, thinning out the competition. Well, yeah, cooking with Kaya. At the end of the day, she is a 304. This is a hoe. She just know how to cook, right? And the argument was with cooking with Kaya is because I think cooking with Kaya, she's Gen Z, and most of Gen Z or Generation Z, they were born in an environment of shaking ass. Their mamas shook ass. A lot of Gen Z, they was raised by a single mother household where their mothers were doing a lot of this. So what cooking with Kaya did, she was cooking. It was a 304 that can cook. Most women today, they're not cooking. So because this hoe can cook, or 304 can cook, it was like it was like something amazing to see. You know what I'm saying? It was like when the caveman discovered fire and invented the wheel. So that was the argument. She was doing one traditional thing that most black men and black culture are not used to seeing. But she is still a 304. Don't get it twisted. She gonna still be a 304. But then again, like I said, most black men were raised by 304s, especially with Gen Z. So it's like that's what they're used to. So the best thing you could do for tell the Gen Z is like, yo, when she do some whole shit, to leave her alone. Right? And black women, you cannot get upset because for my lifetime, I've heard you tell black men, oh, just give us grace. You can be a black chick in black culture if you're a Gen X or you're a millennial and get ran through by the block and then expect a good nigga to wife you up and tell him to give you grace for mistakes you put yourself in. So black women, you can't get upset because you created this bullshit that a lot of black men have to deal with today. So it's not even like telling black men, oh, you got to pick the right type of woman, which I think is true, but it's not true, right? Because to say that pick the right type of black woman, that would mean that there is a significant amount of traditional black women in the environment. The problem is that it's more 304s than there is traditional black women in the environment. Or I don't even know. I have no idea. It would appear that it's that way. So in order for black men who was in the context of a traditional brother to pick the right type of traditional woman, there would have to be as many traditional women as there is 304s in that environment. In other words, you have to clean up the environment. You can't keep telling black men, oh, go keep eating from this fridge that's dirty and the bread is moldy and poisoned, but keep picking the bread. Oh, no, all you just got to do is pick the proper slice. No, get rid of the bread, clean the fridge, and put new bread in the fridge. Instead of having him have to, sift through the dirty bread. See, Ross, I agree with you, right? But the world fits black men with that stereotype. And regardless of what people see in their face, they still go with the stereotype. I know that. You know that. Most black men know that. But if black men sit back and don't counteract that, everybody's going to stay thinking that. See what I'm saying? If a black dude gets into a relationship with a white chick and they're in a good relationship and they're happy and they're creating a good family unit, they're still going to look at that black dude as a thug and they're still going to say he going to turn her into a single mother. Even though there are plenty of white dudes that's turning a lot of white women into single mothers. But we don't speak about that. All right. So, you got to combat a lot of these influences, right? This chick right here, heavy titties. Shout out to this chick, right? Pink Bezos, heavy titties, lips. heavy titties. She would be considered thick. A lot of black men, I've seen a lot of black men with chicks like this. A lot of Jamaican black men be with chicks like this, right? No, I'm trying to see, I'm trying to find, because I'm trying to be truthful up here, right? Boy, let me see what she says. Boy, a lot of white men will say that's fact, but a lot of white men are going. A lot of white men will simp and pay this bitch's college expenses just to be in the same room with her. All right, that's a hypocrisy about a lot of these spaces. Whoa, look at this chick. This is a hoe though. It's a hoe. Right up hoe. So you be careful. Now there's levels to the game. There's good hoes, there's honest hoes, there hoes that respect men and understand their position. See, and I like those type of hoes. They honest, they respect men, and they understand their position. I'm saying we like women that understand their position. I'm saying. I'm trying to find because these are pretty women, right? Let me see this one. Carlo Mato. A lot of Mexican men going with this. A lot of Caribbean men are going for that. A lot of white dudes will go for that. If white dudes didn't like thick women, why a lot of white men or passport bros be going to Colombia and all these Latin countries that are filled to the brim with thick, heavy titty bitches like this? If they don't like fat women. Now, this is what I'm looking for. What is this? Oh no. Man, them bolos is friend. Look at them gorillas in there fighting. Look at them Pickaninnies in there. Oh, security. Oh, look. They're punching on security too. They gonna whoop your ass, security guard. Security guard done folded them. Security got them separated. All right, cool. Shout out to security. Man, oh my God. Black men don't be going out with this. Or be low bottom black niggas that be fucking with this. So a lot of times, black men who are about their business get blamed for what low tier black men are doing. I ain't gonna lie. There's probably a nigga too fucking this chick right here. A lot of these bitches get fucked right. So these are low tier. This is like the lower end of black people. Lower end of black people right here. Boy, she about to score. Boy. Huh. No, nope. Not looking at that. Heavy titties. Bria bad. Oh, that bitch is tall. Who this? She tall. I would pick this up. She'll be picked up. Back hurt and all. Black women, why are you doing shit like this? My mind, she didn't get pregnant by no traditional nigga, bro. But black women, why are you doing this shit? Why are y'all doing this to these kids? See what I said earlier? A lot of the younger generation are raised by hoes. Because look what she's doing with her son. So you can't get mad at cooking with Kaya because a lot of you black women are cooking with Kayas. Raise your sons to like cooking with Kayas. All right. And you can't blame black men because you didn't allow black men to raise his kid or be in that household to check you when you was being stupid. Yeah, but Ross, right? That's what I'm trying to tell you. Those low tier black folks, they're the ones being pushed as to what represents black people. The sexy reds, all that shit, they're what represents black people. The dark, oh shit. This white men will say this is fat, but we know they're going. I bet if she showed me her DMs right now, there's a lot of white dudes in her DMs. There go Cat Williams. I don't know who this nigga is. Baby girl, you need to go sit down and heal your leg. Go heal your leg, ho. Uh-oh. Japanese men, I don't want to hear you talking about nothing about perversion of black men or how misogynistic black men are, bro. Asian men, y'all are one of the perverted men of all time. Bro. But hey, Japan is entitled to operate how they want to operate. It's their country. Let's keep that shit over there. This is a pretty chick right here. Yo-yo. Yo-yo. Yo-yo, if I seen you on the street, I'm going to holler yo-yo. And I hope when I yo-yo, put you on my string and yo-yo you. You don't yo-yo yourself back. Now, she's not fat. She would be considered slim thick. All right. But I've seen a lot of black men with women like this. You go to Home Depot, you go to Walmart, Target, there's a lot of brothers with women like this right here. Especially you go to Brooklyn. The Queen Celine. All right. A lot of white dudes, you are going for this too. Stop playing with me. Y'all be lying out here. Now, this is a 304. Definitely a 304. Definitely 304. Feel me? White men, you are going, and I'm going too. Stop lying to me. If white men, we wouldn't see you in the Dominican Republic. We wouldn't. Oh, she did a sim. Let me see. Now, this is a hoe, though. She looked like a fun hoe. The only problem with this now, if you're trying to build a family, this is not the type of chick to do that with. Because a hoe is always going to be a hoe. That is the problem. Feel me? Chick. Damn. That's a hoe, too. All right, let me see something else. Let me type something up. Yeah, them age like I don't want to ever hear Asian dudes critique black men about a motherfucking thing called masculinity. That us. I don't want to hear Asian dudes cry about black men fucking Asian women when a lot of I don't know where you at, Ross, but a lot of Asian dudes love going to the Caribbean and fucking a lot of black women, bro. And then getting them pregnant and then ducking. Right? Korean standards of beauty. Let me see. Review this cat's channel.
Controversial for sure. I know people are gonna be mad at me afterwards.
No, we gotta respect masculinity and manhood. So this Asian brother, he has a right to critique. Asian men have a right to critique their women and define how their women are to operate and define how their society is to operate. Right? Same thing with white dudes. My issue is that based upon that premise, mind your business about black men and what we like. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead.
But I have to say it. So I want to talk about beauty standards here in Korea and why I think they are so ugly and ridiculous. I want to talk about it from the fashion side.
Hey, Ross, see what I'm saying? This is a person with his opinion, Mr. Chin, and his opinion, going on YouTube, and he's going to influence a crowd with his opinion, and he's going to influence people's perception.
I also want to talk about from the aesthetic side, masculine, feminine energy. The
70K subscribers, and then 277K views. So he's influencing a lot of people.
Men and the women, all of that. Okay. First off, now why does everybody in Korea dress the exact same way? There's no originality. All the guys have the same haircuts. All the girls are all wearing the same things. The only real thing that they use to, I guess, distinguish themselves are these brand names. But everybody
Oh shit! I'm about to research a lot of Korea, and if a Korean man talk any shit to me, boy,
kind of has the same brand names too.
People here seem to be more obsessed with hype culture. Like things that are super popular, everybody flocks to that.
A lot of the clothes look the same, but
see, black culture is a very popular culture, so I think that's the issue. Like black culture and with black men, we're very influential. So if we're the popular culture, they're gonna do with it. They're gonna copy it. Try to imitate it.
the stores that have the most people don't really do anything different. They just have like a bigger brand name, or they're what's on trend in the moment. And that doesn't really just apply to the fashion. It also applies to coffee or any popular foods. There's a lot of really good food in Korea. You can pretty much eat anywhere, you're gonna get a pretty good meal. But there's always like one or two shops that just have like a ridiculously long line, and everybody's trying to take pictures of their coffee, take pictures of the food. And I'm looking at the food and I'm like, yeah, it looks good. But there's another store like a block down that way that sells the exact same thing. Like, what makes this one so different? And I think it's because maybe it's location, maybe because something got hyped on TikTok or whatever. When it comes to the fashion, a perfect example of this is like right now, some of the more popular brands here in Korea are like Discovery, Kodak, and National Geographic. These companies sell the exact same clothes. It's like the sporty nature outerwear kind of thing. They have the exact same shirts, they have the exact same jackets, they have the exact same backpacks, the exact same shoes. The only difference between them, the little like branding on it. So the obsession with these brands like the Kodak and National Geographic, it's like these outerwear brands meant for people who are like going out in nature. But to me, it's kind of this weird contradiction, because I wonder, you have these people that are dressed up in this like beautiful outerwear, but the outerwear is too perfect, it's too clean, right? It looks like they've never used that to actually go hiking, and their skin is so white that they look like they never spent any time outside. And this is why I say a lot of this feels so performative, because they don't buy the clothes because of practicality, use, or something that they like. It seems like they're just trying to fit in with everybody else and ride the trends. Because I heard so many things about Korean fashion before I got here, and how clothes here are amazing and it's really awesome to shop. So far,
I don't know if he's Korean or not. Is he? Let me skip to. I want to skip to the.
in a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Something that I love about Japan's beauty standards, especially for the women, is that the whole cutesy kawaii thing, some people may see it as cringe, but I think it works perfectly for the Asian aesthetic, because that's how we are. We're not the biggest people. We're a lot softer. We have softer features. The women are a lot cuter because they're a lot more petite. And I think Vietnam does a pretty good job of this as well. It's like highlighting what makes us beautiful as Asian people. Whereas here, the beauty standard for the women and the men is so extreme. Strive for perfection that does not exist. And I'm gonna be completely honest, it's gonna sound really bad. In my time here in Busan so far, I have not really seen any women where I was like so impressed by her beauty, because all the women, maybe body like looks nice and everything, but there's so much plastic surgery and their face looks like Michael Jackson. I personally don't like facial plastic surgery at all. I just think it takes away from your natural beauty. All the flaws are what make you human. The Japanese girls, in my opinion, were beautiful because they just kind of accepted who they are. It doesn't feel like they're trying to be anybody else. They seemed a lot more comfortable in their own skin. Whereas here in Korea, it feels like there's this weird societal insecurity for how the women look, because this is going to come off a little wrong as well.
So in my opinion, right, I think that's why a lot of Korean women like black men, because we're not, a lot of black men, we're relaxed when it comes to certain things, like especially when it comes to our beauty standards. Like our beauty standards are not so strict. Like for black men that like black women that fit, all we're asking them is to work out and look decent and proper, right, and be more natural with it, right? So a lot of like our standards are not that high or unrealistic. You only hear niggas on internet say unrealistic shit, but in real life, like a lot of black men, we're not stressing on that. All we're asking for is respect. You cook, you clean, and you respect me, and peace. It's not. So now I understand why a lot of traditional women outside of America, when they come to America, they look at black men as something easier to get along with, because we're not that toxic like that. We're not crazy. You feel me? So black woman, it's a luxury to get with a black man.
But I think the women here actually
You just don't get it.
look extremely masculine, and their energy is quite masculine as well. So here's my theory, right? The women are super masculine.
What do you
If
say?
you disagree, why is the beauty standard for men so feminine?
Hold on,
Is
what do you
quite
say?
women look, because men, the Japanese girls, in my opinion, were beautiful because they just kind of accepted who they are. It doesn't feel like they're trying to be anybody else. They seemed a lot more comfortable in their own skin. Whereas here in Korea, it feels like there's this weird societal insecurity for how the women look, because this is going to come off a little wrong as well, but I think the women here actually look extremely masculine, and their energy is quite masculine as well. So here's my theory, right? The women are super masculine. If you disagree, why is the beauty standard for men so feminine? This exists in countries where women are more masculine than the men, in my opinion. I feel like this dynamic is very big in Spain. In Spain, the men are more attractive than the women. I've seen this dynamic in Colombia, and I've seen this dynamic in the US in some ways. The US is a little more diverse because you have different forms of like masculine archetypes. You have like the soft boy Timothy Chalamet, which is very popular. But then you also have like hyper masculine rappers. And then you have something in the middle, like the country singers that are tall and fit, but they also kind of still have a
I
pretty
like how he used 50 Cent.
boy aesthetic. But here in Korea, image for the men is to be the super feminine looking man.
I've noticed that if you watch a lot of Korean drama, which I do, I ain't gonna front, because I'm like, I watch a lot of TV series because I'm trying to learn what somebody's culture is, and I noticed that with a lot of so I guess this is Korean doing this. Notice that a lot they make a lot of their men very feminine, and maybe that's Marxism. I don't know if that's communism. I don't know if that's an attack on Korean masculinity. I have no idea.
Super soft
I know it is on black men and over here in America.
skin, super soft boy look. Whereas the look for the women is to be this super strong boss babe kind of woman. It doesn't
Yeah, I do notice that too.
really work for me, because when I see someone's aesthetic, right, what tells me if they're masculine or feminine is not just the way that they dress, but it's the overall presentation and the energy. Going back to Japan again, the women there I find are very beautiful because they have this nice feminine outwardly aesthetic and a lot of expressed femininity, but it's also in like the personality and the way that they act and how soft they are. I have a lot of experience with Koreans because I grew up in LA. There's a lot of Koreans there. I went to school with a lot of Koreans.
So when niggas tell you that all women are the same, they're not. Because he's explaining you the different cultures between Korean culture and Japanese culture and how their women are acting and behaving. And mind you, two of these cultures or nationalities are Asian. I mean, in general, these two cultures, both of them are Asian. With the common denominator is that they're both Asian. What differs is that one is Korean and one is Japanese. So when cats are saying that, all women are the same, all women are not, because their culture is different. Now, if you say in the context of being disrespectful or being chaotic, yes, right? All women of every there's going to be holes in all cultures. There's going to be chaotic women in all cultures. There's going to be disrespect for women in all cultures. The difference is in Korean culture, I think, but I know in Japanese culture, they still respect their men and they're very conservative, right?
There's a lot of things that I admire about their culture. Korean food to me is some of the best in the world. I love how social they are. They really run deep everywhere they go. It's a very group-oriented country, very similar to Latin America in this regard, which is why I think Korea and Mexico or Korea and Chile, they have a lot of like overlap and similarities, because the way that they express family and the way that they do everything communally is very, very similar. But I think the focus on community has translated to a lot of parts of Korean society. I wonder if because Christianity is also so big here, Christianity is very much a conformist religion. I think in Japan, the more main religion is Buddhist. Buddhism is more of a religion about
I didn't know that in Korean culture they were Christian. I had no idea. But Christianity doesn't promote masculine women or feminine men.
focusing inward and focusing on yourself. Whereas Christianity is all about following the one God and then trying to change the world to conform to your religion, right? I was walking around and I saw these signs for like a fitness gym, and then the pictures that they had of the Korean men on there were just ridiculous. Okay, I've been here and I've seen thousands of Koreans walking everywhere. We don't normally look like that. So that's such an unattainable standard of beauty that doesn't really fit with.
And they made that shit look I'm not even gonna say it.
who we are as Asian people. Now, granted, here in Korea, they are taller than the other Asian countries that I've been to. I've noticed that. It's the same in China. Like, as you go to the northern part of China, the people tend to be a little taller, probably like closer to Mongolia. I'm just very disappointed by Korean beauty standards because I'm like, I don't understand why people find this beautiful. I don't know why deforming your face to have the perfect cheekbones, to fix your nose, to fix your lips, all that stuff makes you more attractive. I think it comes off as extremely insecure because you're trying to be something that you're not. You're trying to conform to this European Western style of beauty that we will never be. I talk about
So I don't want to hear Koreans talking shit.
on my channel that there's a lot of white worship going on in East Asia, right? It's big in China and it's big in Korea. In Japan, I actually don't think they care that much about it, but Korea is probably like one of the biggest places for that.
I would say that it's even more prevalent in a place like Korea, where
What
they
is that?
do celebrate people who are of a lighter skin tone.
White worship going on in East Asia, right? It's big in China and it's big in Korea. In Japan, I actually don't think they care that much about it, but Korea is probably like one of the biggest places for that.
I would say that it's
We keep hearing a lot of this black culture worship from Japan. You know what? I ain't even gonna get mad at that. If y'all can worship white culture, why not worship some nigga culture? I said
even
something that
more
nobody else can
prevalent
say.
in a place like Korea, where they do celebrate people who are of a lighter skin tone or of a Caucasian race. Random people will
so you're
sometimes come up
saying-
on the street
you
and,
thought-
you know, they'll like, oh, so pretty, so pretty. And I know that it
Ross knows more about these things. So you're saying it's because of the Cold War, North communists versus. Oh shit! So you're saying that Korea ranks #1 in birth declines? So that's why there was one of those Asian countries that was talking about they needed like black men to go help them repopulate or something like that. So that's what that is. And it's because of the Cold War, North communists versus Southwestern capitalists. That's interesting. That's very interesting.
has less to do about me and how I look and more to do with the fact that I'm just white.
I think American capitalism is the best form of capitalism, in my opinion, because it's more regulated. There's rules that's there, right? In my opinion, everything else outside of American capitalism, I don't know.
The obsession with perfection and having the
And then a lot of these countries, they say they're capitalist, but then they have a lot of socialist undertones in it and nuances in it. So, but to say with the last couple of decades since Bill Clinton has been in office, they were trying to turn it into a liberal socialist country, using capitalism to fuel it, right? So that's what you saw going on in America between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. You know, Joe Biden is a globalist; he's a leftist. Donald Trump represents the capitalist Western American. So I think that's what it was.
Perfect skin and everything having to be perfect is such a toxic mentality. The perfection with the best grades, you have to be the best performer. There's just so much pressure that's put.
So one is extremely capitalist while North Korea is extremely communist. I wonder what those two extremes is. Because American capitalism is balanced. It's not too extreme, right? I guess that's why it works. There's a lot of balanced stuff in capitalism here. So I wonder what extreme capitalism would look like.
Put on Asian kids from such a young age to perform that it really F's up our mental health. So here's an interesting observation I've made. I've seen how Korean dads interact with their kids, and they're so nice. And when the Korean girls are like kids, they still maintain a lot of that feminine energy, that cutesy energy. And it's almost like femininity are beaten out of the women and they're taught to be more masculine. Like for the men, they're taught to be gentle, soft.
So they're taking the experiment that they ran on black culture and they running it on Korean culture. Oof. That's
boys, and they almost get
according to what he's saying, right?
masculinity beaten out of them. Something that I also notice is that a lot of the tourists that come here to Korea, you have a lot of couples that come here. You have some groups of like mixed men and women. And I've seen a couple of guys here and there, but most of the travelers coming here are actually women, groups of women, women from the West. It's almost kind of like the reverse passport bros, like passport girls. I don't know if a lot of them are coming here to find like their oppa or whatever, but the percentage of women travelers versus men travelers is very similar to the, like if you went to Colombia, male foreigners, because they're going for one reason only, right? So I wonder how much fetishization of the Korean man because of K-dramas and K-pop have contributed to why all these white Western women want to come to this country. It's crazy. Like out of all the countries that I've been to, I've never seen so many solo female travelers or female groups.
So if the Korean men in Korea are being feminized, question would be what type of white women are going over there? Is it the liberal white women going over there to find weak Asian men, or what's going on? All right, I'm gonna play this. Let this run. Oh, so they are. So they're both of them are an experiment.
Groups until I came to.
See, we really can't tell them what to do because it's their fucking countries. You know what I'm saying? So they running that experiment over there. You know what I'm saying? The only problem is that when they start blowing each other up, how is it going to affect everybody else? You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. Let me type in something. White women who travel to Jamaica. Oh shit. Oh shit.
Chicken foot, chicken neck, chicken back. Nothing a waste, nothing a dash with. Money me a look away you there. Money me a look away you there. Some song them a fish at. Real. Me know about sardine, mackerel, bully beef, chicken foot, chicken neck, chicken back. Nothing a waste, nothing a dash with. Money me a look away you there. Money me a look away you there. Money me a look away you there. Money me a look away you there.
I put this soda up, and I jump 'em, cause I don't care. I don't care.
Bro, one thing I know, when Jamaicans tell me them have a friend who will look like me, all that means is that they have a white friend and then probably don't look like me at all.
Hold on. I gotta share.
For the sake of younger ears and proactive minds, certain words have been watered into the term ice cream and ice cream eating. In a world as big as ours, there's a lot of beauty to be found in it. You look to the left, you see the trees, you look up, you see the clouds, right? It's a lot of beautiful things in the world. Take the beaches of Gambia, for example. The picturesque
Shout out to Tunde.
destination has a lot to offer. Many tourists are often left fulfilled with the experiences, right? You also get to meet new people, and if you're lucky, maybe you fall in love with a local woman who might turn out to be the love of your life. But I have to ask, is it really all this colorful? Everything I've just described, it sounds like the bumpsters of Gambia. Imagine yourself on Kotu Beach, all relaxed, you're probably wearing palm print shirts, you have a shade on, and you're staring at the beautiful setting sun. A couple passes in front of you. It's a young local and a white woman who's probably old enough to be his mother. You might remove your shades and stare at that scene
This is not
for a while before probably brushing it off as just luck on the woman's side. She's bagged herself a younger guy, right? That's what you're thinking. At that moment, you see, you weren't exactly wrong to have viewed them in that way, right? But there's an unspoken dynamic between those couples you just saw. A dynamic that sees the local being termed as a bumpster. By definition, a bumpster is someone that's known as a beach boy, who is typically a young man that is a member.
Hey, listen, it's all you Jamaican niggas out there, Caribbean niggas out there, African niggas out there. If a white woman is willing to give you a visa to help you get to their country, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Do what you gotta do.
Member of the host community. This person frequently hangs around tourist areas and they pretty much prop the older woman up like a mechanic and they change her oil. If you get what I'm talking about.
I tell you, what I said earlier may be wrong. Do what you gotta do, pimp. This is Gambia. This ain't Jamaica though. This is them Gambian tellers. Get your visa.
These bumpsters, their ideal target, as
Hold on, but that back. Oh,
you may have guessed from the couple you seen earlier, is older women. Many of these crusty old women travel to Africa from the West in search of beach boys to date and pay for sex.
Yes, the excitement. Let's go for some fun.
The truth is that most of these young guys, they don't even like these crusty old women and they're pretty much just doing it for money. But why would
hustle on, nigga, hustle on, hustle, get your money, get all that.
Anybody want to be a bumpster in the first place? I mean, in the name itself, it seems like it was
I might contradict my whole stream.
Coined from the word bum and dumpsters. But like most things, right? You've got to look at the economics behind it, right? Many of these beach boys that you're seeing are dropouts who stopped schooling because they believe that being bumpsters pay more than an average job.
I've seen a lot of white women, older white women with young Gambian guys out here.
I know what the Gambian boys are up to. Better way of living. Because all of them are living.
Well, I mean, this is not the majority of society, right? There are white dudes that do that shit. The white dudes that go to the Philippines and Korea. So are those women dumpster chicks? Dumpster girls? Bumpster girls? You can like, the logic works both ways. If you're gonna critique Jamaican or Gambian men for sleeping with older white women for money, what about the Korean chicks that do that? What about the Asian chicks in the Philippines and Vietnam and those places, in Thailand that do that? You know what I'm saying?
Not so good in a room.
Do white men have AV fever? Asian vagina fever? APF? Asian pussy fever? Who knows?
No cupboards, just a bed, nothing. So if they can find a woman that they can, all the woman wants is love and they can give them love, they're going to do it. They're just looking for a way out.
I mean, all you've got to do is see the size of their customer base to understand how much money these guys are making. If you know anything about Jamaica, you know that there's never a shortage of crusty old women along the shorelines of Jamaica. In Jamaica, for example, the men have developed a reputation for being able to keep going for an hour. Someone who went on a Jamaican trip said this: on weekends we had off, so we'd go to the beach and these young men would walk up and down the beach. They'd do push-ups, they show off their muscles, trying to woo us. The deluding culture of hedonism. Hedonism is a movement that began in the 5th century BCE when Aristippus, a hipster, sorry, a philosopher, began to advocate for a life full of sensual pleasure. He maintained that the greatest good in his life was the pleasure of the moment. In modern day
I like how he called him a hippie.
Jamaica, there is a resort dedicated to the teachings of our wise hipster. We get a
I did not know that shit. Jamaica, I will not do. I did not know that existed. So this is why a lot of the bullshit is going on over there. You have places like this and whatever God knows what else out there influencing people to do stupidness.
good glimpse of this resort from the story of a woman who goes to this pleasure resort located in Negril, Jamaica. It turns out this resort was actually built by the Jamaican government, meaning that whatever goes on in this resort is entirely legal.
Come on, get up. Get up. Come on, what are you doing, lady? This how you doing it?
What's wrong with it? He said that it comes with it. That's what everybody does when they come to Jamaica.
No harm, my friend. Come on. You see that he ain't have to smack it.
You get one too.
No, what, man? I didn't want no massage from him.
Bitch nigga, leave. I would have left her ass right there and she'd have to find her way home. She'd have to find her way home. Leave her right there. Let her keep getting her ass rubbed by that nigga.
Come on, I seen the slap. I get the rub.
No, no rubbing, no slapping.
Yeah, I'm gonna show my friend.
No.
Yeah.
Brother. He does agree to rub down on next man, brother. Regin.
And a lot does
And that Jamaican nigga know better. If he was doing that to, you know what?
go on in these resorts. Some of these things this woman experienced in her time were full frontal nightly swinger parties and many more levels of depravity. It wasn't uncommon to see an all-girl action going down in the room next to yours. After all, many hedonist centers like Hedonism 2 are gender insensitive. One can always find love in any gender he desires. And if that wasn't wild enough, right? Many people as young as 19 are encouraged to try out this resort and almost advertise to them like it is the new arcade that is down the block. Married couples are swapping with other people to do things. They're doing some Sneeko stuff. They're doing some Adam 22 stuff.
Well, let me tell you, don't go to Hedonism in Jamaica because that's a swingers resort. And you'll be sitting by the pool with your... It's a Hedonism. It's a swingers resort. And you'll be sitting with your wife and a man will politely come up and say, hey, could I f your wife? Or could you f my wife?
And with a lot of 10-inch on your wife and you got the regular shit.
No, they don't got to pull it out because you can't wear clothes back there. So you can't bring your phones and you can't wear no clothing. It's a sign.
Been there before?
Yeah.
You have fun in there before?
Yeah.
Oh my God, let's talk about that. And you had in there before?
I did.
And we see some even revisiting these centers, claiming that they never miss a year. Quite the way to keep the love burning in a relationship.
If your girl go on a girl's trip to Jamaica, break up with her.
Very nervous. I can't imagine, but if I meet someone cute, I would love it.
Anyway, wow. I did not know that this was going on. I didn't even know about a hedonism Jamaica. Over there, I did not know. Anyway. Let's see something else here. Let me see. Dick. Let me change gears for a moment, right quick. Dick. White. Oh, hold on. Let me see. White women who date black men. I gotta redeem Jamaican men right quick. Jamaican black men. Let's see. Let's see. Uh-oh. So they got various different couples here. They're not even showing actual pictures though. That's the thing. Let me see short video. here. I think Black American men need to be more like Caribbean men, especially Jamaican brothers, because when we want to date outside our culture, we will do it without hesitation nor care. Okay, so they're not going to really show. Uh-oh. Post this. Oh, no. Not too many, let me see this one. See what this is. Yeah, a lot of these things are like jokes and shit. Almost mockery, almost. When y'all say big white women, what's a big white chick? What are y'all talking about? Who date? Let me see this. Something white, thick. Let me see. Let me show this here. Man. But I see a lot of white dudes with fat white bitches like this. Like this picture right here. A lot of white dudes be with like white women like they're shaped like this. Oh. Oh. Anyway, let me take that off the stage. Put me back up there. Let me add this. All right. This would be fat, according to a lot of white dudes. Compared to what their women are dating. All right. But anyway, this was Kiss Shirley Gaming Nation. I wanted to make this live because I'm getting kind of tired of black men always being critiqued and checked by everybody. You know what I'm saying? And so what if black men like big fat white or black women? Why do you care if that's what we like doing? Why do you care? Why do people care? You see what I'm saying? Why? So it's like it's either they critique us for how we dress, the type of shoes we wear, or the type of women we date. Meanwhile, they have a lot of weirdo shit that they do. That we must respect them in their weirdo shit that they do. But anyway, this is Kiss Shirley Gamer Nation. Like, share, and subscribe. Follow my content, and I'm out.